Hello everyone, and welcome back into Daddy's on YouTube, where our catchphrase is, Knick Knack Paddywhack Daddy Attack! Anyway, today I thought I would show you around Visual Studio a little bit. That's the software I use to develop programs and make applications. So I'll go ahead and open that up for you. And today I think I have the mouse recording correctly, unlike yesterday, so hopefully it'll all work out. So we're going to go and open up a new project, and we're going to do Windows Forms one more time, and we're going to call this one Visual Studio Tour. Alright, and we'll click OK. So what happens is it opens up into Visual Studio, and you can see that there's this blank form 1 over here. And what that is, it's sort of like your base application platform. So if you have an application that does something like, for instance, Visual Studio back here, it has to appear on screen in some form. So this is the same with this form 1. It is the base of your new application, and you of course can change this to make it look like anything you want, but we're just going to keep it this lovely gray color for right now. I just want to show you some of the items in the toolbox. So if you're familiar with Windows at all, you know that the interface has things like buttons, and sometimes you'll find a combo box or a label or a checkbox. These are just very standard controls that you'll find on Windows applications. So a button might say cancel, and then you might have one that says apply your changes, in other words, and then you might have one that says OK, which means apply and close the dialog box that you're in, or whatever that you're in. So because we're working with a Windows system and we're using Windows Form, we're going to make Windows-like applications with that. So you might have a little box that opens up that it says make some changes here and there. And if you wanted to recreate that over here, you have all these Windows common controls that you can use. And it's really simple to use them. You can just drag and drop kind of thing. And this can save a ton of development time because you're not going in and creating all these controls yourself. They come standard with Visual Studio, which is great because otherwise you'd have to build your own library of things that you wanted to create or add to your application to make it usable. So when you add a control to this form, what happens behind the scenes is that there's code that's created. So we're going to look at that really quick. And so all those controls we just added, our button, our combo box, our labels, checkbox, button 2, button 3, that would be like OK, apply, cancel, the checks, and then the form itself, which is what appeared when we first created this. These all have code associated with them behind the scenes. So if I added a new button and I called it I said, it says Hero of the Day, and we expand it to whole text, and I actually named it that, BTN, which is short for button, underscore Hero of the Day. Something distinct so we can recognize it in the code behind. We'll save everything, and then you can see that the button will appear when we look at the designer code file. Let me just find it here. Hero of the Day. Ah, there it is. Okay. So we just created that button, we named it, and here you can find in the code behind. And so basically everything that you see in the graphical user interface all has code behind it to create all that stuff. Which is pretty cool. And if you let's see if this works. We go to definition of a button. That button on the form itself, this guy, has a ton of stuff associated with it in the background. So these buttons don't just appear out of nowhere, they're all coded really deeply into the system. And all this stuff has to do with the button itself. And this is required to make it show up here. So it's like the plumbing of, the graphical user interface up here. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, you have a lot of options if you want to make a month calendar where you can have, your people choose the day or the week or the month or whatever. You can do that. Progress bars, which if the program is working on something, you can add one of these and it'll fill up as it completes its job, and give you an indication of when it's going to be complete, and on really. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of the basic graphical user interface and kind of behind the scenes and how it all comes together to create a program. Another time we'll actually create a program that does something useful, and we'll deploy it, and I could put a link in the description. You can download it and use it yourself if you'd want. So that's something to look forward to in the future. As for right now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, we'll have more to come. Alright, thanks for watching.